Welcome back, everybody. Please take a moment, like, comment, subscribe, and share. We're on our way to 500. Alright, let's get started. We're working on our tray mold today. We already have half of it in there. We're going to work on the other half today. First, I'm just painting the really pearlescent pigment on there. I will link everything in the description below for you. I'm just going to make sure I cover all those spaces, get it nice and painted in along the sides, along the edges, making sure I don't leave any spot untouched. And we'll just keep painting that in. And at this point I'm searching for the eco resin and grabbing a sip of coffee because I run on coffee. I'd like to say it's a joke, but seriously, 3 or 4 cups a day keeps me going. And I'm just getting the eco resin into the container. I was doing this off camera. I didn't realize I was doing it off camera. The things you notice when you look back. Grab another sip of coffee. Alright, and I got my water ready. Alright, so we got our eco resin in the cup. We're going to add some of that shimmer powder to it. And then some pearlescent powder to it, just to give it a little more depth than the plain white color. Mix that all up in there. Add in our water. Of course, if the eco resin's going to get some water, I'm going to get some more coffee. Normally I'd mix up a bit of a bigger batch, but that was the last of the eco resin I have on hand. And I had some extra powder in there, so I dumped that in there as well. Mixed it up. Pour it in the mold, scrape out that cup really good. And we're going to go through with the toothpick, pop out any bubbles that we see. This stuff's really easy to work with. Give it a little shake so all the bubbles come to the top. That way you don't get any surprise bubbles at the end. That was a stubborn bubble, let me tell you. Now while that's drying up, we're going to work on these. These are the 3 purple diamond shapes that I filled in the other day, and the flowers we made with the alcohol inks. The purple and white one turned out really freaking pretty. So did the red. That's my favorite. And this time I'm getting more coffee, and I'm moving my coffee cup out of view of the camera. Alright, we're going to mix up some resin and put a backing on this. I'm just wiping it down a little bit with some alcohol wipes just to make sure it's all nice and clean. And then we're going to mix up some resin and give it a backing color. We've got our part A. And then our part B. You want to make sure that your part A and part B are equal halves. And then we're going to stir that really well, making sure we scrape the bottom, making sure we scrape the sides. Get that all mixed up. You'll notice when you're stirring your resin that it's going to look a little stringy. You want to keep stirring until it's clear and no cloudiness in it at all. Keep stirring. You want to stir for a good 3 or 4 minutes, scraping your tools, scraping your sides, scraping the bottom. That way all the resin gets incorporated into it and you're not left with any extra gooey parts that don't harden. And you want to stir kind of slow so you don't have any bubbles. Now I'm trying to find my resin pigment because I wasn't clever enough to pull it out before the video started. Sometimes I swear my brain takes a vacation. Alright, so I found this really gorgeous copper color that I love. Super pretty. And we're going to put that on the back of our sunflower and paw prints. Took me a minute to open those. They really don't make those aluminum lid things on there easy to get off. And since I had done all the videos all in one day, as you can tell, there's a lot of gray plaster still on my fingers. Probably should have cleaned that up before I went and did all this. Not so much for the pieces because it doesn't come off on any of the pieces, but it's just kind of awkward seeing all that gray dust and all over my fingers. Bam, my OCD is showing. Alright, we're going to spread that resin out all the way to the edges. Try not to go over the edges because you don't want to have any spillage over the sides. You just kind of want to go right up to the edge. Covering all of that back up. Pour a little more resin in there, a little more powder, mix it up, and finish covering our mold. There we go. That bronzy copper color is just so freaking pretty. Got a little left over, so we're going to put it in one of these flowers. I always have little random pieces lying around, and this one I put with my extra resin in. Close up that pigment jar, add a little more clear resin in order to fill up that mold. Set it to the side. Now we're going to cover the pencil holder, or makeup brush holder, whatever you want, the holder cup. We're going to cover it in clear resin. It'll seal in the eco resin, wow. The eco resin, it'll seal in that eco resin, not that it needs it, but it'll just give it a shiny look instead of that matte look. Just gonna make sure we cover all the sides of it. Now, I mean, technically I could have just poured it down from the bottom part of it and just let it all drip down, but then you know, you're gonna miss spots and you'll get drips, and that's a pain to have to clean up. So I just went in along and scooped it up, put resin on the spoon, and then just slide it up. You don't need a thick layer, just a nice thin coat. Then we have some leftover resin, so we're going to add some of that glitter to it. And once again, it's going to go in our little container mold. Adding an extra layer to that, here soon. That'll be ready to demold. That'll be cool. Scrape all that out. And there you have it. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me, watching all the videos. We're on our way to 500 subscribers, so if you know of anybody that might be interested in resin, send them my way. Alright, thank you so much, and hope you guys have a great night. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.